Y'all got 15 minutes to go out there and steal me something. In this mall right now, each one of y'all go out there and individually steal $50 worth of merchandise, come back and put it on the table. Then we'll talk.
Okay, come on, guys, we can do this. Just shoplift.
You got 15 minutes. Let's go. And put your wallets on the table. I don't want nobody cheating.
All right, come on, let's go.
Would you like me to ring that up for you?
No, I think I'll just live with it a little first.
Do you have a catalog?
I might have one in the back. Let me check.
How those feel?
They feel a little tight. Do you have them in a half size up?
Yeah. Let me check the back.
Hey, them 2 pair of drawers don't cost no $50.
$12 scented candle.
Okay. We'll get to work tomorrow.
Oh, wait a minute. We all just proved ourselves. How do we know you could really pull this off?
I stole $264 in cash. Rule number 1, never give your wallet to a thief.
We're standing here at Atlantic Station, and we're listening to Tony Bennett serenade us through the loudspeakers on the street. I'm Jonathan W. Hickman. This is Jeff Marker, and you're watching the Film Fix. We're going to talk about the movie Tower Heist. It is a movie directed by Jeff's favorite director of all time, Brett Ratner. And it stars a relic from the 1980s.
It stars, you know, there are a few relics.
Several relics.
But cherished relics. Let's be
Totally.
nice about it at least, you know. So Ben Stiller has practically reached relic stage himself, but then, yeah, they revive Eddie Murphy very much being the classic Eddie Murphy. Sort of the motor mouth, you know, sort of witty and ridiculous at, you know, by turns and that sort of thing. Alan Alda plays the heavy in this, the bad guy
Very
in the movie.
well, too.
Yeah.
He's like the sneering Bernie Madoff that we never really heard from Bernie throughout the whole thing, did we? Through the whole Bernie Madoff saga. We never really heard from him.
I think he cried on TV once.
Did
or
he
something,
cry
didn't
on
he?
TV?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah, it's great for him.
But here we actually see what that character might have been like. You know.
Oh yeah, we love to hate this guy.
That's right.
And, you know, and we can't forget to mention that Judd Hirsch is actually in this movie.
That's true. Yeah.
Do you remember Judd Hirsch
From Taxi?
Yeah,
that's right. Of course,
I
he's
think,
done more than that. But,
right.
Yeah.
All right. So this is this week's big release.
That is Tower Heist. It's a Thanksgiving movie.
Shot, pivotal scene, climactic scene takes place during the Macy's Day Parade. Going to be released in time for the Thanksgiving holiday.
Absolutely. You know, what's interesting about this is it's a movie that's plot is so simple, it's summed up in the title. So, I mean, giving a plot synopsis is probably not necessary because the movie is about a tower heist.
Thinking of becoming a male prostitute.
Think I might have a better idea.
So you're saying you want to rob $20 million from Arthur Shaw's penthouse apartment?
You're gonna go to jail.
Yes.
You're gonna die. Probably both.
Yeah. Yes. Join me.
It's about a Bernie Madoff type swindler, played by Alan Alda, who apparently has created some kind of Ponzi scheme, taking everybody's money.
They don't really get into too much depth.
They never use the word Ponzi scheme.
I think it's smart, really, because he's just sort of the stand-in for everybody in the financial sector that we hate right now.
Well, and he lives a solitary existence. He has this amazing penthouse apartment with this pool that has, you know, a $100 bill as in the floor of the pool.
Yeah.
You've seen that in the trailer. But he doesn't have a wife. There's no mention of any family, no children or anything. So he's sort of a lonely guy with everybody's money. And when he is arrested, the people who run the tower that he lives in, that his penthouse is in, embark on an adventure to try and take back their money.
Come on. Let's storm the castle together.
Oh, like when they went after Frankenstein.
No, it's a different kind of storming. It's a storming where the peasants take everything back, you know, from like the feudal lords and...
I'm in. I'm in.
I'm in.
Well, now we're undefeatable, aren't we?
Whether or not you buy into it, it doesn't matter. I consider this a charming fantasy.
Well, it borrows from a couple of recent movies too, because actually there's a little bit of that movie, The Other Guys, in this, because the reason that the condo employees want to get revenge on him is not just because he screwed everybody in general. He actually lost their entire pension, just like in The Other Guys.
Yep.
And then you've got a handful of guys
It's Steve
who are...
Coogan in The Other Guys, though, is the heavy. So. I just thought I'd like that. I mean, I have to give a shout out for Alan Partridge whenever I can.
And Coogan's great. I love it.
Yes, he is fantastic.
And then the other movie they borrow pretty significantly from is Horrible Bosses, actually, because you've got a handful of guys who aren't criminals at all. They're pretty soft-shoed fellows, and so it's sort of like Horrible Bosses. They hire the one guy who sort of looks like a criminal, and you can guess that it's
it's a sign. It's a sign of the times. We have people occupying every city in America. They're wanting to enter and sit in banks. They're occupying Wall Street, and a movie like this is going to strike a tone because it's, in a way, I'm not going to say the Occupy movement is vigilante in nature, because they're certainly not. I'm going to stay away from that. But this movie is about taking the law into your own hands and vigilante justice.
Look at us. We're basically waiters. That's what we do. We bring people stuff. We don't take things.
You and I know the movements of every person. We know the schedules, deliveries, and codes for every door and window. We've been casing the place for over a decade. We just didn't know it.
We didn't know it because we weren't doing it.
Come on, man. I need you.
Yeah, you need me because you got these idiots.
You think we're getting our money back? You think Lester's getting his money? I talked to the FBI. It's gone.
So all this is about getting it back for Lester?
Yes, and Rose, and Miss Yavenko, and Manuel, and you jerk.
Everyone wants to do they want to have good intentions when they break the law. And that's sort of what we have with the Occupy people. I mean, they have some kind of idea that they're wanting to pursue, whether it be against the war or against greed or whatever. And so if they stay in the park longer than the mayor wants them to, then they have good intentions. Well, in Tower Heist, you have all these plans to commit larceny on a grand scale, but they have good intentions because it is, after all, their money, right?
Well, it's very much deserved. And look, we've had all these people who've put the economy in the tank out of their own greed, and Alan Alda captures all of that. We love to hate him the same way we love to hate the real people. And
ironically, Alan Alda, of all people, playing such a role.
He does quite well. And in the movie, they get a little bit of revenge against that guy, and I have mixed feelings about it. On the one hand, I think people are absolutely going to identify with it. It got a big applause, after, because it does hit the right tone, and we have to give it credit for that, because I think there have been a handful of movies the last few years try to hit that note and they miss it. Think about Larry Crown.
Yeah.
They just didn't get it.
Well,
at
and
all.
Horrible Bosses to a certain extent. I mean, Horrible Bosses worked early when they embarked on the caper, and that it began to taper off until it just completely went in the tank at the end. Even though I liked Horrible Bosses because it was very funny, it didn't have as sleek and as efficient a narrative as Tower Heist is.
Yeah, that's fair. And I really expected this to be a bit funnier. It's moderately funny, but it is a well-told little story with some ridiculous plot points here and there. But look, it's a heist comedy, and so that was bound to happen. And it's Brett Ratner, so it's bound to happen.
And I'll tell you, Eddie Murphy, every time he's in a scene, he is absolutely hilarious. He really returns to form in many different ways, and he is at times upstaged by precious Gabby Sidibe. She is just outstanding. She adopts an accent here that works. She sells it well, and she has her moments that we've seen in the trailer that are expanded upon a bit by her interaction with Eddie Murphy. It's really neat to see them together on screen.
It is, and I'm very happy for her that she got this role in a high profile movie, because she could have, her body type fit for Precious. There's not a lot of opportunities for women who look like her, regardless of how talented they are. That's just the God's honest truth, when it comes to Hollywood filmmaking. And so here she is getting to show a little bit of range. She's funny, she's powerful, and all these sorts of things.
She's even sexy.
It's all in the touch. You married?
See what?
You married?
No, I ain't married. What's up?
Just taking a poll.
Taking a poll.
And,
to give
and they
the-
don't shy away from her weight, you know.
No.
And she's a good sport about it, and
Yeah.
it works.
And they don't laugh at her either. Because let's talk about
They're
another.
laughing with her.
Let's
Yeah.
talk about another Eddie Murphy movie. What was the one where you put on the?
God, you know,
the fat
Norbit.
suit is-
Norbit might have cost him the Oscar, right? Wasn't that
it
one
cost
of the thoughts?
him me as a fan. I mean, that was one of the most
It was
offensive
so
movies.
bad.
And to this movie's credit, they never go there. They never sort of make her the butt of the joke. She's one of the team, you know. That's just the way it is. And so good for the movie, good for her. You know, the other thing I was going to say though, I think the movie does hit the right note for the time. I have a little bit of mixed feelings about it because, and this will be my one political statement here, that we have to go to the movies to feel the kind of satisfaction that we sort of get revenge on
Well, that's why I
these
say
guys.
it's a charming fantasy.
Yeah.
Only in the movies can you do the things that they do in this movie. And the ironic thing is that while there have been comedic heist films, most of the heist films, the ones that are most memorable, the ones that really matter in the pantheon of cinema, are often, you know, film noir, movies that actually show the dark side of the heist game. And here we don't really get that. It's a light caper film, you know, that works, I think. And, you know, you got to hand it to Brett Ratner. The man can make an entertaining movie, whether or not you like what he stands for with regard to Hollywood.
No, that's always been my problem,
I mean-
though. I think he's made pretty shabby movies. I think this is by far his best.
Really? Okay. Well, I'm a fan. I have liked him on Facebook, and he makes me a believer with this one. So I got my fix from Tower Heist.
I actually did too. Yeah, like I said, it's not quite as funny as I thought it was going to be, but I think a lot of people are going to enjoy it.